and join us. Without further any delay, we would like to start this event. A very good morning, everyone. On behalf of the National Center for Additive Manufacturing, NCAM, I welcome and thank all the senior medical professionals, industry leaders, academic experts, and R&D institute heads and senior government officials for joining this national conference on 3D printing in medical devices and implants. Through this national conference, the NCAM aims to promote and enable the adoption of additive manufacturing technology in India, especially in the healthcare sector, and raise awareness of potential benefits and address challenges in the ecosystem by collaboratively working with relevant stakeholders. Firstly, we would like to thank Sri K.T. Rama Rao Garu for gracing this occasion with his presence. We would also like to thank Sri Jayesh Ranjan Garu. We would also like to thank Ms. Michelle Wade, Commissioner, South Asia at Global Victoria, State Government of Victoria, Australia. We also have with us on stage Srimati Rama Devi Lanka, Director, Emerging Technologies and OSD ITEC Department, Government of Telangana, and Sri Jaspreet Sidhu, CEO, NCAM. Now I invite Mr. Saurabh, Consultant Emerging Technologies Wing, Government of Telangana, to please come up onto the dais and felicitate our chief guest. Mr. Saurabh Nitnawar, Consultant Emerging Technologies Wing, Government of Telangana, is felicitating our chief guest, Sri K.T. Rama Rao Garu. I request Sri Jaspreet Sidhu, CEO, NCAM, to kindly felicitate Sri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, Principal Secretary, ITEC Department, Government of Telangana. I request Rama Devi Lanka Garu to felicitate Jayesh Ranjan Garu. Now I request Srimati Rama Devi Lanka, Director, Emerging Technologies and OSD ITEC Department, Government of Telangana, to deliver her welcome address.
Good morning, everyone. Well, today, the Hyderabad weather is a bit cooler compared to the earlier days. It seems like the weather is also welcoming you today. And thank you all for being here despite your busy schedules out there. I know most of you have actually flown from across the country. We have delegates coming from Singapore, from Australia. Thank you all for making it here. For this prestigious conference on 3D printing in medical devices and implants. This is being organized by National Center in Additive Manufacturing, which is an institution or an independent entity that is set up by Government of Telangana, Information Technology, Electronics and Communications Department, and Ministry of Electronics, Information Technology and Communications, Government of India. It's called METI. A warm welcome to our Honorable Minister, Sri K.T. Rama Rao Garu, Information Technology, Electronics and Communications, Industries and Municipal Administration Department. Hearty welcome to our guest, Ms. Michelle Wade, Commissioner, South Asia at Global Victoria, State Government of Victoria, Australia. Sri Ajay Sahani Sir, former Secretary, Minister of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India was supposed to join us, but unfortunately he could not. He was the architect of this NCAM, and under his aegis, this has been conceptualized and approved. Sri Rajendra Kumar Ji, Additional Secretary, he could not join us in person, but he has actually shared his video, which we're going to play it soon. I welcome Sri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, our Principal Secretary, IT&C Department, and Jaspreet Sidhu, CEO of NCAM, who has taken over charge a couple of days back. I welcome all the representatives from the industry, the academia, our sponsors, MOU signatories, medical professionals, students, of course, despite their exam, they're here, media professionals, and my dear colleagues from IT&C department. A warm welcome to all of you. Well, we have been looking forward for this event for quite some time, and we have had several discussions with all of you, most of you, I would say, who are here, either on the partnerships that we are going to actually forge with NCAM, or on the scope of engagement, or on the roadmap for NCAM, and more specifically on the kind of sessions, the kind of conference, that we need to actually organize. So it has been a collaborative approach. I think most of you have experienced that, and that is the approach that we actually adopt in the state of Telangana when we actually implement initiatives of this scale. While the additive manufacturing or 3D printing has been used to make medical implants for more than a decade, unfortunately, it's still a nascent stage in India compared to countries like US and UK. Therefore, this national conference is hosted today to focus specifically on medical devices and implants, covering specializations in different areas such as dental, orthopedics, and so on. Our team, in consultation with all of you, have curated wonderful sessions, exhibitions, advanced case studies. I think it will be a great opportunity for especially the students who are here to network, and for all the other companies to forge partnerships. And I would like to mention that the Telangana State Dental Council has awarded 6 credits to the students for attending this program in accordance with the regulations. So again, I would like to make a special mention, thanks to Dr. Mahendranath Reddy Garu, Chairman of Prosthodontics Research, for providing guidance and support to our team. In fact, their team worked in tandem with our team, all through they came here in morning at 7:30 to look after the arrangements. I'll keep it short as we're really excited to attend the events that are about to unfold on the day. So 3D printing is true and drastically improving patient outcomes. I hope this conference for us to, take on new projects and initiatives that as a country, we actually forge ahead in this area. Once again, I welcome all the delegates and across the country. I'm sure for the additive manufacturing industry, I think today all the roads are leading to Hyderabad. Still people are flying from to attend the afternoon sessions. A big thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Ramagaru. Now I request Sri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, Principal Secretary, ITEC Department, Government of Telangana, to deliver his keynote address.
Honorable Minister, Mr. KT Ramarao, Ms. Mitchell Wade, Ms. Ramadevi, Mr. Jaspreet Sidhu, distinguished members of the audience, Professor Venkatramana, Professor Ramana Rao, other invitees, guests, thank you everyone for taking time out and joining us for the first edition of this National Conference on 3D Printing in Medical Devices and Implants. As you would have known by now, this conference is being organized by the newest Center of Excellence in our technology stream, which is called the National Center for Additive Manufacturing. The center has already started functioning. It is physically located inside the Osmania University campus, and it's a partnership, as my colleague explained, between the state of Telangana and Government of India, represented by the Ministry of Information Technology. The center, because it is a national center, it will become a national focal point for various 3D printing advancements in the country, and it shall do that in collaboration with additive manufacturing companies and the users, like all the doctors who are present today. NCAM has identified more than 50 plus partners already from India and abroad, based on multiple rounds of stakeholder consultation with industry leaders, R&D institutions, national and international academic bodies, and leading startups in the additive manufacturing center. And with many of those partners, I guess 15 partners, we are going to formally exchange MOUs today in the presence of Honorable Minister. The focus of NCAM in many ways reflects the focus that we have in our state, namely aerospace, defense, medical devices, automotive, consumer products, and other aspects of healthcare. A significant momentum is developing in India for the use of 3D printing in the medical sector, and therefore the first conference which we have organized under NCAM focuses on medical devices. As I said, collaborative approach is the core of this NCAM and therefore this conference also. So I would like to acknowledge our key partners for this event. The India Prosthodontic Society as our knowledge partner, EOS as the title sponsor, SLM Solutions as the associate title sponsors, all the exhibitors such as Imaginarium, IIT Bombay's Beltech Lab, T-Works, and many more, and of course all the medical professionals who have joined us today. The conference obviously will be a very major step to kickstart the activities of the NCAM, and one of the most priority sectors of our country today, that is healthcare, is the focus of this conference. We know that we are relying heavily on imports for our medical devices. Our state government has chosen to set up a indigenous medical devices park, which is located at a place called Sultanpur, where already 50 plus companies have set up their manufacturing facilities, including state-of-the-art activities like stent manufacturing, etc. So I foresee a very good collaboration between NCAM and the companies who are in our medical devices park, and even companies who are not in Hyderabad. Because of the presence of NCAM in Hyderabad, I'm sure this will give you a very good motivation to set up your industries also, your manufacturing base also here in Hyderabad. Already additive manufacturing is being developed in our city through two institutions. There is a small facility in Osmania University. Vice Chancellor Professor Ravinder is here. And also T-Works. But with the commencement of NCAM in our city, both the existing Osmania University facility as well as T-Works will be able to scale up their programs in coordination, and we can definitely do much more together in partnership. I would also like to take this opportunity to introduce the new CEO of NCAM, Mr. Jasprit Sidhu, who has just joined us 2-3 days ago, and there's a big range of expectations that we have from him. He's a hands-on global business professional with expertise in business development operations and strategy in the additive manufacturing industry. He has successfully built 17 years of multicultural experience across Europe, India, and Middle East markets, working with diverse stakeholders of the additive manufacturing industry. His last assignment was with Falcon Technologies International, a UAE-based government entity focusing on promotion and adoption of additive manufacturing technologies in the Middle East region. And during his stint at Falcon, the company has grown from a single person entity to have the biggest additive manufacturing hub in UAE with quality standard certification in medical sector. So I welcome him and wish him all the luck for leading the NCAM. And once again, my warm welcome to all the participants. And thank you very much for making this conference a big success. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jaishranjan, for the keynote address. And now let's begin the most awaited segment of today's conference, the exchange of MOUs. I request our delegates and guests who are coming up on stage to please stay back so that we can have a group picture at the end. Thank you. Firstly, I would request Sri Anthony Vincent, National Sales Manager, EOS, India, to please come up onto the dais for the exchange of the MOUs. Mr. Anthony Vincent, Joint R&D programs for developing AM material, machines, processes, standards and software, startup accelerator and innovation programs training and skill development and training programs. These are the kind of engagements that we are looking at. So that's Mr. Anthony Vincent, National Sales Manager, EOS, India. The National Center for Additive Manufacturing NCAM has identified about 50 plus core partners from India and abroad based on multiple rounds of stakeholder consultation with industry leaders, R&D institutions, national and international academic bodies, and leading startups in AIM sector. And today, MOUs will be exchanged with these 20 partners. Now I request Sri Srinivas Shastri, Director, India Operations, SLM Solutions India Private Limited, to please come on the dais. New metal alloy development for powder bed additive manufacturing process, conduct skill development programs, organizing and participating in internal conferences to spread awareness towards adoption of additive manufacturing. Help and mentor the young startups in India and provide access to global applications which can be implemented in India. Mr. Srinivas Shastri, Director, Indian Operations, SLM Solutions India Private Limited. Now we request Dr. D. Narsingha Rao Garu, Director, International Advanced Research Center for Powder Metallurgy and New Materials, to please come up on the dais. The scope of engagements that we're looking at is the development of standards, development of applications and processes, know-how development for AM grade powders, and skill development in the country. May I now request Professor G. Sundar, Director, BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus, to please come on to the dais. Professor G. Sundar, Director, BITS Pilani, Hyderabad campus. The scope of engagements that we're looking at from this MOU is the innovation programs for new products, new product development, organizing conferences, workshops, R&D collaboration for developing machines, materials, etc. May I now request Priyanka Nadik, Senior Tech Lead, and Mr. Walmik Bhavar, AM Entrepreneur, to please come on to the dais. Ms. Priyanka Nadik and Mr. Walmik Bhavar. R&D and innovation, new product development and indigenization, enabling adoption and industry readiness skilling, access to infrastructure. Now I request Professor D. Ravinder, Vice Chancellor, Osmania University, to please come up onto the dais. We would also request Professor Dr. Sriram Venkatesh, Director, CPDDAM and Principal, University College of Engineering, Osmania University, to please come on to the dais. The scope of engagement that we are looking at is to offer internship to UG and PG students for carrying out UG, PG and PhD research scholar project works, conducting skill development programs like FDPs, STTPs, workshops, seminars, professional development programs. Mentoring and providing facilities to startup companies, entrepreneurs who propose to start their companies in the area of additive manufacturing. May I now request Sri S.K. Verma, Scientist, F. Central Manufacturing Technology Institute, to please come up onto the dais. Sri S.K. Verma. Design and development of large area metal additive manufacturing machines, smart IIoT enabled 3D printers, micro stereo lithography systems for biomedical devices and implants, Aerolab machine for finishing AM components. Design for AM manufacturability, evaluation, testing and functional validation. May I now request Sri Dilip Menezes, Managing Director, 3D Systems India, to please come up on the dais. Supporting startups, developing applications and use cases, and skill development. These are the scopes that we are looking out from this MOU. Sri Dilip Menezes, Managing Director, 3D Systems India. May I now request Ms. Ravneet Pava, Vice President, Global Alliances and CEO, South Asia, Deccan University, to please come upon to the dais. The scope of engagement that we are looking at is jointly working on research projects, skill development, developing process and materials, new application development for the country, and conducting workshops. Ms. Ravneet Pava, Vice President, Global Alliances and CEO, South Asia, Deccan University. May I now request Sri Priyesh Mehta, Director, Imaginarium, to please come upon to the dais. Development of new application and processes, R&D and innovation for testing, characterization, development of standards, helping with policy making for use, adoption and innovation for additive manufacturing, helping in academic courses and training for additive manufacturing. May I now request Sri Deepak Saligram, Regional Manager Sales, Intech Additive, to please come on to the dais. May I also request Sri Revant Metla, Team Lead, Hardware Solutions, Intech Additive, to please come on to the dais. Development of new applications and processes for additive manufacturing technology, collaborate with NCAM to set up R&D and Innovation Center, new product development and in additive manufacturing, enabling NCAM to provide access to state-of-art infrastructure for industry, startups and researchers. May I now request Dr. Jangala Hari, Secretary, Indian Prosthodontics Society. May I also request Dr. K. Mahendranath Reddy, Chairman, Council for Prosthodontics. Research and development, training and education in additive manufacturing, skill development and developing quality manpower, establishing a standard for additive manufacturing in dentistry, conducting conferences and conventions. May I now request Mr. Mahesh Dhoka, Director, Incredible 3D, to please come on to the dais. Mr. Mahesh Dhoka, Director, Incredible 3D. Development of new application and processes, research and development for testing, characterization and development of standards, training programs and skill development initiatives is what we're looking out from this MOU. Now may I request Sri Pradeep NS, Director, Lodestar 3D, to please come on to the dais. Mr. Pradeep. Local development of new products and solution for the country is what we're aiming from this MOU. Ladies and gentlemen, Sri Pradeep NS, Director, Lodestar 3D. May I request now Sri Anuj Budhiraja, Country Manager, India, Mark Forge, to please come on to the dais. Mr. Anuj Budhiraja, Country Manager, India, Mark Forged. Application Development, Startup Incubation, Skill Development and Policy Advocacy. May I now request Professor N.V. Ramana Rao, Director, NIT Warangal, to please come up onto the dais. The scope of engagement: joint R&D initiatives for developing indigenous AM material, machines, processes and software. Collaboration for undertaking training and skill development and training programs. Collaboration for initiating startup accelerator and innovation programs. Professor N.V. Ramana Rao. May I now request Sri Sumit Bengari, Business Head, Philips Additive, to please come on to the dais. Sri Sumit Bengari. Joint R&D initiatives for developing indigenous AM material, machines, processes and software. New AM applications and components development in core sectors such as medical, aviation, space, defense, industrial tooling. Shri Sumit Bengari. May I now request Shri Venkat Janardhan, General Manager, Reddington, India, to please come on to the dais. Skill development initiatives, workshops on industry-specific applications, conducting faculty development programs to train the trainers, networking with AM ecosystem and industry interface. Shri Venkat Janardhanan. May I now request Shri Rajashekhar Upputuri, co-founder and chief executive officer, Think 3D, to please come on to the dais. Shri Rajashekhara Upputuri. May I now request Dr. U. Chandrasekhar, Program Director, Wipro 3D, to please come on to the dais. Joint R&D initiatives, new AM applications and components development, development and setting up of regional AM clusters all across the country. Support in selection of AM technology, design development and operations of AM center. With this, we finish the exchange of MOU segment in this conference, and now I request all our delegates and guests on stage to step up for the group picture. I would like to thank our delegates and guests who have joined us on stage, and I request them to please take their designated seats. And before I request our chief guest to speak this morning, Rama Devi Garu has a special announcement to make. I request our chief guest, Sri KT Ramarao Garu, to felicitate Ms. Michelle Wade, Commissioner, South Asia at Global Victoria, State Government of Victoria, Australia. May I request Mrs. Rama Devi Garu to make that special announcement that we're waiting for?
It's a surprise announcement that I wanted to make. It's not in the part of the agenda. For the last 6 months, our emerging technologies wing it's a small team, very effective, very passionate individuals. And there is one person who has been working for the last 6 to 7 months, on this NCAM. I think each one of you know him, and he has been interacting with the entire AM industry, I know, and like hundreds of calls, so many meetings. And today we are seeing this, because of him. So I would like to actually request our Honorable Minister Garu and Jay Shanjan sir to felicitate him. And can you all guess who that person is? Absolutely. Saurabh, please come on to the dais. Give him a big hand, please.
So that's Saurabh, Consultant Emerging Technologies Wing, Government of Telangana. He and his team has been working hard for this conference past 6 months. Well, now I request our chief guest, Shri KT Rao Garu, to address the gathering. Before that, I think he definitely needs no introduction. With his unflinching resolve, commitment and inclination to fight for the welfare and development of the state, KTR Garu has worked steadily with a wide spectrum of industry and political leaders in India and abroad. He has provided a visionary leadership, ladies and gentlemen, our dynamic leader that we are always proud of, Shri KT Rao Garu.
Thank you. I always love it when somebody says he needs no introduction and then they go on to introduce you for 2 minutes. It's always a nice thought, but thank you for that, Shilpa. Firstly, to the distinguished gathering here, Principal Secretary of IT, ENC, Industry and Commerce, Government of Telangana, Shri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, to Rama Devi Garu, who's the Director of our Emerging Technologies Wing, and also OSD to the government, to Jaspreet, thank you for joining us. I know Dubai and UAE is greener pastures, but you've left that and joined us. Thank you very much. Michelle, it's always nice seeing you in Hyderabad. I think you should seriously consider moving to Hyderabad from Bangalore. We have better traffic. We have, of course, our weather is also improving, so you should seriously consider moving from Bangalore. To all the distinguished gathering here, and to all those enterprises and institutions that have signed a memorandum of understanding with Government of Telangana, I compliment each and every one of you. My sincere gratitude to all of you for joining us today. I'd like to thank all of you for taking some time out of your busy schedules and joining us at this national conference on 3D printing in medical devices and implants. It is the first such conference being hosted in the country and shall result in many insights and collaborative opportunities with the National Center for Additive Manufacturing opening up in Hyderabad. As we all know, healthcare is something that is now, I think, the first topic in any conversation of late. So therefore, I think this could not have happened at a more opportune time. This event and the center are a continuation to the state's efforts in being the startup state and building an ecosystem for innovation by our startups, industry and academia. While the National Center for Additive Manufacturing is a new addition, Telangana state is already home to a robust innovation ecosystem consisting of the T-Hub, TSIC, the Telangana State Innovation Cell, V-Hub, the Women Entrepreneurs Hub, the Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, RICH, TASK, which is the Telangana Academy for Skills and Knowledge, T-Works, which is India's largest prototyping facility, and of course the Emerging Technologies Wing, and with the Image Center of Excellence. Image is innovation in animation, multimedia, gaming and entertainment. All of these together and 1,500 plus startups who in this specific sector have received support through all these above mentioned institutions in the form of mentorship, incubations and industry connects, and have raised more than 1,800 crores in funding over the last 5 years. In this, T-Works, which is a large prototyping facility, specifically has already been spearheading the prototyping efforts with and without the use of 3D printing. During the COVID-19 pandemic, T-Works had developed a mechanical ventilator in collaboration with various partners. T-Works' upcoming facility of 78,000 square feet will be the nation's largest, and we shall also have a dedicated lab on 3D printing. The focus on additive manufacturing is part of our overall vision to establish Telangana as a leader in emerging technologies. The efforts in this overall domain include focus on development of ecosystem and enabling innovation and growth for the emerging technologies. In these efforts, we look at the industry, academia, research, domain experts, and all of our stakeholders as partners and not just as external parties. We always work hand in hand with the ecosystem, such as the one gathered here today, to drive innovation through collaboration. As you would have observed while entering the event venue today, the best of the 3D printing technology has to offer has been exhibited for you to observe and adopt. The exhibitions and products showcased are a testament to the advancements already achieved and the use of 3D printing for medical implants for more than a decade now. The 3D printing or additive manufacturing technology has allowed implant manufacturers to create complex geometries that copy the shape and function of natural bone and to produce these items on an accelerated timeline. The technology also offers new ways to work with common implant materials and polymers. As an example of this, as also mentioned in the brochures given to you, the Australian researchers have proven a process for the 3D printing of stents made from nitinol, a shape memory alloy that will resume its intended geometry after deformation. This material is already used for arterial stents. The 3D printing offers advanced possibilities to doctors and transform the healthcare industry for the benefit of both the patients and the surgeons. From an economic standpoint, the healthcare 3D printing market size was valued at over $1.7 billion in 2020 and is estimated to expand to $7.1 billion in 2027, while growing at a compounded annual growth rate of more than 22.3%. One of the most prominent factors contributing to the growth of the industry is the rising demand for patient-specific implants in orthopedic, dental, and other types of surgeries. Further, enhanced productivity coupled with increased production accuracy are other factors leading to the market growth. In the past, adoption of this technology has been mostly limited to US and European markets. The US FDA has reviewed more than 100 medical devices made using 3D technology in 3D printers under knee replacements and cranial implants categories. In addition, the US FDA has approved 3D printed titanium implant devices. Therefore, in present day today, India has a huge opportunity in this segment to become a dominant player and gain the lion's share based upon the available human capital. 3D printing may also revolutionize big pharma, with drugs being printed and adopted to specific patient requirements such as age and weight. This could equally save the pharmaceutical industry millions in costs, resources, and wastage. Therefore, today's conference, which is aimed at increasing understanding of the applications and advancement of 3D printing in the medical sector, will exhibit not only the latest technology in healthcare, will also discuss the latest trends, applications of 3D printing, challenges, and the future of this technology. I'd like to reiterate that this is not a one-off event to boost the understanding of the technology. It is a milestone from which the National Center shall identify priorities and key partners and lead the technology's increased adoption in our country. We're delighted that this center will be coming up on the campus of Osmania University. We hope that all of the medical professionals present here today will have a great learning experience and productive discussions with members of industry, academia, and research. I congratulate Jayesh Ranjan and Rama Devi for making this happen, and of course Saurabh for making this happen. I wish the new CEO, Mr. Jaspreet Sidhu, the very best. Let's all be proactive and leverage latest technologies in medical sciences for a better and healthier future. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Telangana.
Thank you, KTR Garu, for your kind words, and we really appreciate your relentless efforts in reimagining things and reorienting different activities that you feel needs to be changed. We always will be proud of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for gracing this occasion. And now we would like to witness a virtual keynote address by Dr. Rajendra Kumar, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. Can we have the visual on screen, please?
A very good morning to everyone. Honorable Shri KT Ramarao, Minister, Municipal Administration, Urban Development, Industries, IT, Electronics and Communication. Shri T. Harish Rao, Honorable Minister, Health, Medical and Family Welfare. My batchmate and Principal Secretary, IT, Electronics and Communication Department, Shri Jayesh Ranjan. Director, Emerging Technology Wing and OSD of IT E&C Department, Srimati Ramadevi Lanka, all the distinguished invitees and participants here. It's my pleasure to be present here on this occasion of National Conference on 3D Printing in Medical Devices and Implants. As you may be aware, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Government of India launched the National Strategy on Additive Manufacturing in February this year with the vision to make India a global hub for additive manufacturing. The goal is to capture at least 5% share of the global AM market by 2025 and make India the prime destination in the world in this emerging sector. The potential of this sector is huge in terms of generating advances in latest technologies and also supporting startups. As we are all aware, India has become the world's third biggest startup hub, and we see a huge potential in this domain for supporting the growth of startups. Emerging technologies is a very major area where MeitY is launching a number of initiatives to support the growth of startups. The MeitY Startup Hub is currently supporting over 3,000 startups in tech-focused areas, and our goal is to ensure that the startups in the country, especially in tech-focused domains, can get the desired level of support under the MeitY's programs. We also have some very major initiatives in the domain of emerging technologies, especially in the field of artificial intelligence, then also in blockchain, where we have launched national strategies, and currently the development work on the platforms in these domains are being taken up. We also have launched the National Portal on AI, which is a very unique repository of all the initiatives in the domain of artificial intelligence. We also are working with our advanced academic and R&D institutions to develop a national platform for blockchain, where we can permit the departments both at the central and state level and the industry to showcase their initiatives in the blockchain domain. We have the vision of achieving the $1 trillion digital economy goal by 2025, and these initiatives are all part of that overall vision, where we would like to see the growth of the digital economy in India being supported by all the stakeholders. MeitY is actively working with the stakeholders to ensure that we can really support and push the growth of digital economy further and achieve this target of $1 trillion by 2025. We launched this vision in 2019, where the goal was to ensure that the ITS sector, which is the traditional sector in India for the development of the IT industry, can really grow to further heights and also we can support the growth of other domains, especially focusing on electronics manufacturing. As you may be aware, electronics manufacturing is one area where METI has launched a number of initiatives. We recently launched the PLI schemes on IT hardware, the scheme on large scale electronics manufacturing, and also the program on semiconductor manufacturing, where we wish to really see that India can become the global hub for semiconductor manufacturing in the years to come. The scheme for promoting these initiatives is really of very huge amount, and we would like to see the stakeholders from industry, from state governments, all come together to realize this vision. I am very happy to see that events like this, the conference on 3D printing in medical devices, they are being organized with the support of the state governments and the industry to really support the growth of these emerging technology domains in India. I am sure that with the support of like-minded stakeholders, we will see further development in the domain of electronics manufacturing, and we will be able to see India emerging as the prime destination in the world in these emerging areas. We also are focusing a lot on skilling in these domains, where we have launched a number of programs to provide highly skilled resources to the industry. The Future Skills Prime program of METI, in collaboration with the industry, is a very major initiative in this regard, where the goal is to train highly skilled resources for the requirements of the industry, especially in the emerging technology domains. With these initiatives, I am sure that the domain of emerging technologies, electronics manufacturing, the IT and ITS sectors will attain greater heights in the years to come, and our vision to achieve the goal of $1 trillion digital economy by 2025 can be achieved. I would like to wish all the very best to events like this, especially for the deliberations that lie ahead of this inaugural session, and definitely I would like to convey my best wishes for similar efforts in future. Thank you very much for inviting me for this event.
So that was the virtual keynote address by Dr. Rajendra Kumar, Additional Secretary, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, METI, Government of India. Before we start our first panel session this morning, we would like to thank our Chief Guest, Sri KT Ramarao Garu, Honorable Minister for IT, Industries, MA and UD, for gracing this occasion with his presence. Thanks a lot, sir. We would also like to thank Sri Jayesh Ranjan Garu, Principal Secretary, ITEC Department, Government of Telangana. We would also like to thank Ms. Michelle Wade, Commissioner, South Asia at Global Victoria, State Government of Victoria, Australia, for gracing this